player in Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, and we're going to continue to add to that. But I want this team to be the leader in the country. I went to see Kelsey play at USA Basketball in Santa Barbara at one of their workout camps, and I called Pokey and I said, I'm watching our draft pick right now.
ESPN says Caitlin Clark's new boss is bad news. The internet's going crazy. But hold up, what if I told you they've got it all wrong? I've dug deep into this story, and what I found out is gonna blow your mind. Get ready, because I'm about to show you why ESPN's bombshell is more like a firecracker. Trust me, the real story here is way more interesting than what they're pushing. When they reach the professional level, some former college stars just don't cut it. I don't think Caitlin Clark fits that description. While at Iowa, this girl was unstoppable, shattering records at will. In her final season of high school, this star averaged more than 30 points each game, utterly bonkers. However, let me tell you something. Everyone was curious about her ability to maintain her success in the WNBA. Everything is more intense, the game is moving at a faster pace, and the competition is more difficult.
With her WNBA rookie season complete, let's see it. Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA.
What about Clark's initial encounters with the Fever? On fire. This is a domino effect with rookie records collapsing. She is unstoppable. She isn't merely performing admirably. Was the game against the Mercury televised? Despite Diana Taurasi's furious expression from the sidelines, Clark continued to cook. Just picture Clark in her element, passing the ball about like candy, making shots from any spot on the court, and snatching rebounds with the deftness of a magnet. The Fever seems destined to defeat them. However, there were some bumps along the road. Clark had to show that she could manage the increased intensity in the second half. What is absolutely insane? She was more than capable. She flourished under its scrutiny.
Caitlin Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, Caitlin to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging money for years.
Clark really came through for the team when the game was on the line. She made plays, made clutch shots, and maintained her composure under pressure. In Indiana, Clark isn't the only one making waves. She's also changing the game. The Fever have resurrected their long-lost secret weapon. What gives ESPN the creeps about this potentially game-changing decision? We need to discuss Kelly Krauskopf. Your first thought is likely to be, who's that? You're about to have your world turned upside down. A basketball legend, this woman is. She constructed the Fever from the ground up in the year 2000. Putting together a squad is just the beginning. Everything from championships to playoff runs is up for grabs.
That conversation, and I don't have to describe what the Fever is. I spent 10, 12 years, people go, what's that logo? I certainly wasn't, thinking of this as an option at the point in my career where I am, but
Krauskopf made the Fever into an unstoppable force. At this point, though, things start to get crazy. Krauskopf chose to level up after turning the Fever into a formidable opponent. She abandoned ship and spent 6 seasons with the Indiana Pacers of the NBA. What she learned there is mind-boggling. She seems to have attended a graduate program in basketball. I mean, come on, everyone should be ecstatic that she's back with the Fever. That is incorrect. ESPN is making it seem like a big deal. Is she too out of touch? Is one of the things they say. Are you kidding me? The game of basketball is her lifeblood. She has played in the NBA and the WNBA. That's the equivalent of a superpower in the realm of athletics. Would you like to know something even more absurd? The CEO of the Fever virtually pleaded with her to return. The Pacers' senior executive, Mel Rhines, was very involved in this. He had a feeling that Krauskopf was the one thing they were missing. Krauskopf too. In she goes. According to her, anytime you're asked to return to a place that you helped build, you know it's special.
Anytime you're asked to return to a place that you helped build, you had a hand in building, it's special. So I know exactly what her future looks like. She's a part of our team right now, and she's an important part of the team. So she's a tremendous talent.
There's more to it than that. Whoa, that's dedication. If you were hoping for a feel-good story to come out of Krauskopf's homecoming, ESPN has dropped a bombshell that has everyone buzzing. Is there something we're missing, or is this another example of manipulating events for dramatic effect? You'd think ESPN would be covering this Cinderella story non-stop with Caitlin Clark illuminating the court and Krauskopf returning to the lead. No, they're disrupting the championship parade at this very place. As if it were their job, they are occupied with creating controversy rather than praising this upcoming dream team. I see. I suppose that's somewhat true. What has me baffled, though, is that ESPN is doubting if Krauskopf is the correct choice. Creating a winning squad in the past clearly wasn't enough to convince anyone of her abilities. Her stint in the NBA was more of a basketball vacation than a crash course in managing a professional basketball team, but they're treating it like that, like we're all watching a different movie. They seem to be engrossed in something else. Would you like to discover the most extreme aspect? Krauskopf has a grand strategy in the works. While ESPN is busy casting doubt, Clark isn't the only one on her mind. Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell are the central figures in her system that she is constructing. ESPN is concerned about whether Krauskopf can still use a clipboard, and here we are talking about a possible future dynasty.
Player and Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, and we're going to continue to add to that. But I want this team to be the leader in the country, a brand, an enduring brand, like Apple or something. I mean, we have a real opportunity here. So I think that's a goal.
High-level topics. There is still so much more to come. A hidden weapon in Krauskopf's arsenal is poised to disrupt the WNBA. This is a strategy with the potential to alter the course of women's basketball in the long run. It has nothing to do with Clark or Boston specifically. And here's the worst part, ESPN hasn't even noticed. While ESPN is preoccupied with casting doubt, let's discuss the Fever's actual situation. Krauskopf is bringing in more than just A-list talent. From the ground up, she's constructing an entirely new culture. Envision this: the explosive play of Clark, the utter dominance of the Bruins in the paint, and the seasoned leadership of Mitchell. It's possible that these trio will rule for quite some time.
I went to see Kelsey play at USA Basketball in Santa Barbara at one of their workout camps, and I called Pokey and I said, I'm watching our draft pick right now. DNA, and you love the game and you love to compete, then you're going to be a great fit, with this team.
But the players aren't the only ones involved. In Krauskopf's mind, the Fever should become a brand comparable to Apple. Do you know what's amazing? Long-term planning is not on her mind. Dominating the WNBA has been a long-term goal of this plan. Creating a national leader through an enduring brand is what she has in mind. Imagine a WNBA team that is as well known as one of the NBA's top franchises. Can you believe it? Even the current coach, Christy Sides, has Krauskopf's admiration. Proclaims to be a culture builder and someone who is resilient.
Expansion had always been on my list, but we didn't want to rush into it because we wanted new owners, new ownership groups. Anyone who knows sports here knows it's a slog.
We're talking about what Caitlin Clark did last night or Aaliyah Boston. I mean, I feel like we've all sort of it's here.
Krauskopf isn't simply going in to rip everything down, which is a significant deal. To improve, she observes what is already working and expands upon it. Do you want to know the most insane thing? Winning games isn't Krauskopf's only concern. The entire world of women's basketball, she says, is about to be transformed. The entire sport, not a single club, is what we're aiming to improve.